The new episode Gabriel Agreste just answered loads of questions, but at the same time, it left me asking more than ever. However, the questions that it did answer allowed me to piece together a big part of the plot that I had been wondering about for ages. I believe I finally figured out why Felix exists and why it was Emily who created him in the first place. Why the cold-hearted, careless troublemaker treats his mother with such respect and love, and why Emily continued to use the peacock Miraculous even though she knew it was broken. So sit back, relax, and grab some popcorn, because it's story time. So the first thing is that this episode confirmed that Felix is actually a Sentimonster. The theories were right. This finally explains why he's so good at things and is extremely talented, because all Sentimonsters are practically perfect. This also explains why it's possible that he looks and sounds exactly like Adrien. We saw that Gabriel knows he's a Sentimonster because he's the one who threatened to take his life away with a single snap. However, I don't think Felix is quite aware that he is a product of a Miraculous. I think he can sense that he's different, but doesn't quite know how. But here's where it gets even deeper. Emily must have created him. Something that proves this is when he walks into Gabriel's office and looks at the painting of her. You can tell that he has some kind of connection with her, but not even he knows exactly how. He looks at her as though she were his mother, and not Amelie, even as though he missed her. But why? If it really was Emily who created Felix in the first place, here's how I think this story went down. Amelie, knowing that her sister was pregnant, envied her greatly. It was always her dream to become a mother, but she couldn't. Emily, knowing this, felt so sorry for her sister. So she decided to use her power to create her a child of her own. However, Gabriel was against this from the very start. Knowing that you could only create a Sentimonster at a time, he warned against doing that in case there was ever a time that she truly needed to use her power. Let alone the fact that having a Sentimonster in existence for such a long amount of time could be very dangerous. Nevertheless, knowing how much her sister was hurting, Emily decided to do it. When she had Adrien, she created a Sentimonster to look just like him. She took one of her old rings and put in a muck inside it. She handed it to the small baby Sentimonster. She told it that this object controls its life and to never take it off. There was just one thing that she asked of it: to always love its mother. But other than that, the rest of the Sentimonster's life was in its own hands. When she saw her sister again, she told her that she had had twins. Knowing how much she wanted a child all her life, she told her that she could have the other. Amelie, taken aback by this offer, questioned her decision. She was worried what the boys would think when they were older if they found out, and questioned why they would look so similar. She reassured Amelie that they could get away with it and that no harm would be done. Amelie finally agreed and took the child she thought came straight from the womb of her sister, totally oblivious as to the magic that had been manipulated. Everything was fine for a long while. No one knew or suspected a thing. However, there was a day that the peacock Miraculous broke. Gabriel warned Emily that using a broken Miraculous was extremely dangerous, but if she didn't use it, at some point, Felix could no longer stay. Because of this, Emily didn't listen. She continued to use it with her sister in mind. In the end, though, the Miraculous took her life. Awfully dark, I know. But it does make a lot of sense. Like I said earlier, though, there are still questions that are unanswered. Like, how did the Miraculous break? Or why did Emily need to continue using it? I have a strong feeling that the answer to both of these questions has something to do with controlling Felix or keeping him in existence. But we still don't know. However, if this were the case, that would definitely explain a lot. It would give reason as to why Felix could potentially want to steal the peacock Miraculous in the future. If he possessed it, no one could ever threaten to take his life again. It would explain why he's so considerate towards his mother and no one else. It would make a lot more sense as to why Emily continued to use the peacock Miraculous even after it was broken. Imagine how she would explain that to her sister when Felix suddenly disappears and never returns. Amelie would be crushed. It would also explain why Gabriel clearly doesn't like Felix at all, considering that he was against it to begin with, and that he was the one who took his wife's life. I love how the storyline has gotten so much deeper and mysterious. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for sticking to the end. I wish you all the best as we continue down this miraculous journey and discover some of the deepest secrets yet. Bug out!